So I turned on the television this morning and I caught the tail end of what the news was reporting, a statistic coming out of Washington, D.C. Caught the tail end. So why am I saying that? Because I can't tell whether this was a statistic for the month or for the week. All I saw on the screen was COVID, 4 deaths, gun deaths, 22, Washington, D.C. I have a feeling it was, I have a feeling it might have been for the month, because I don't want to over-exaggerate numbers. That does no good when you over-exaggerate something. So we'll just say for the month, COVID, 4 deaths, shootings, 22. You folks can look that up. I'm not quite certain, but I just want to show you how vigorously they're going after COVID versus crime. And by the way, I'm trying to pretend I'm a stupid liberal. By the way, we know crime's up. We also know that criminals no longer fear the police, but we still want your guns. We have no plans on how we're going to get them out of the hands of criminals, but we want the law-abiding, the people who obey the law. We want your guns. We don't care whether we are able to get the guns away from criminals. Give us your guns. We're going to tax your bullets. We're going to make things harder for you to get as far as weapons, bullets, and whatnot. That's what that's our plan. That's our strategy. So I find it amusing on how vigorously they're going after COVID. Why? It is not. I got to be careful. I just had a video taken down, so I got to read outside the box of what I'm saying. Think outside the box. We need to go after COVID because it is going to be the tool, the weapon of choice to win the next election. We're going to scare everybody into staying home on election day so we can implement mail-in voting. And thankfully, we're outlawing signature and ID verification. So thankfully, we got the southern border 30 minutes that way. I kid you not. I'm in Tucson, Green Valley. It's 30. All right, we'll just say 35 minutes that way south. We got the border open. They're going to stay home. We're going to encourage them to also vote. Who do you think they're going to vote for? We're going to leave that border open. Come on in, because they're used to being taken care of, if that's what you want to call it, by their government. Meanwhile, in Cuba, the people who know what socialism and communism is, we're not going to allow them into our country because they will fight for freedom. Leave that you show up on those shores in a boat or anything, we're going to turn you around into those shark-infested waters. No, you can't go. Go back to where you come from. Yeah, go ahead and drink the salt water on your way back, but don't come back here. That's their attitude here in the United States. If you're coming from a third world country where you're used to being taken care of from cradle to grave, come on in, come on all. But if you know what communism is and you're going to fight against it, you're not welcome. That's what's going on with the Cubans. And they are going to plan to weaponize this for the upcoming campaigning and whatnot for your Senate and House and Senate races. And you can rest assured they're going to fight tooth and nail. So, nothing more to report. I want to tell you a video of mine was taken down. Again, my numbers, they're actually, I really don't care what my ratings are, how many people are subscribed to me. I don't, I'm not in this for the money. I barely make enough to cover the internet. So I got an email It actually was an email. I went and I sat down and I logged into the computer, and boom, a pop-up came up. Once I got to YouTube site, I logged into my YouTube account and popped up a window, and it wouldn't let me bypass that window. It was a big window. Couldn't even minimize the window. I had to either acknowledge or just stayed there. So I was forced to acknowledge. Once I acknowledged, it then came up with the details of why they took down this video, and it was for medical advice. They claim I was giving medical advice. They can pick basically any excuse they want, and you're stuck with it. And then there was a button on the bottom. It said, fight this. It wasn't the word fight. It said, I don't know. It basically said re-review or something like that. I don't even think it said re-review, but it meant to, what was the terminology? Irrelevant. Basically, you want to fight this or acknowledge it. I chose to just acknowledge it because I don't fucking have time to be fighting YouTube right now, and they're just going to re-verify the same information. They're never going to admit they're wrong. They're just going to look at the account again, re-verify, oh no, we're right, you gave medical advice. I didn't give anybody medical advice pertaining to anything. I might have said some feelings about getting an injection that I don't feel comfortable with. I might have shared some information pertaining to why I just think I don't feel comfortable wearing the Democratic Party flag over my face, because that's what it is. It's a symbol of socialism and the Democrat Party. That's what that has become. I just don't want to wear it I just don't want to wear it anymore. I just didn't like wearing it when I went to go grocery shopping and whatnot. But as far as medical advice, oh no. So, and it said misinformation. People tend to forget how to think critically. They see the words, and boom, they're like a horse with blinders on, and that's all they see. They can't think outside. Misinformation. What is misinformation, folks? Most people are programmed to think it means lies, false. That's what they see. But misinformation has nothing to do about the validity of that information that is deemed misinformation. No, it is just basically, they just changed the verbiage to fool people. It was global warming. Then it got cool a couple of degrees, and everybody laughed at the government. Oh, well, shoot, we got to change it. We'll call it climate change. That way, no matter what the freaking climate does, we got an out. We're good. We're golden. And they choose words to just, misinformation means basically this. Any information, regardless of whether it's true or false, that is different from the government's narrative. That's what it is. You no longer are allowed to voice your opinions. That is considered misinformation. Was I out on the internet telling people not to do something medically or to do something medically? No, I was not. I don't do that. I don't play that. I believe everybody should have and should not feel bad about making a medical decision, whether I agree with it or not. I never freaking beat up anybody that has a different opinion of mine, regardless of what the subject matter is. I don't kind of, tell them they're stupid or anything like that. Like, okay, do what you got to do. You got a family, you got to live your life, and whatever decisions you make, you got to make them for your life, your family. I can't make decisions for me. I can't tell you that you need to utilize my decisions to take care of your family. They're all independent. So basically, this misinformation is nothing more than an alternative opinion. That's what they're deeming misinformation. And some of this misinformation out there coming from good medical sources have good data to back up that information. It's still deemed as misinformation. Did you know that? Medical reports coming out over this virus saying what virus is, what will actually kill the virus. Data to back it up from long time doctors in the subject are being ridiculed as spreading misinformation. Because why? It's different from the government and the news media's, the true news sources narrative. Imagine this. Even before Trump got into office, during his campaign, there was lies spread about him. Throughout his campaign, there was lies and investigations. There was after these investigations, nothing came of these lies. It was all shown to be, we just don't got proof that what we said was true. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. The whole Hillary thing with her servers in her room and her destroying all this information. Oh, she didn't do it. Then it comes out bit by bit that she did have this and she did destroy this information. The whole propaganda that that Trump went to Russia, got peed upon, or he peed upon some prostitutes, turned out to be false hoax. Everything just turned out to be false, right up to the campaign of Biden, where conservatives were saying, hey, there's something funny going on. He doesn't seem to be cognitively there. Something doesn't seem right. So what the news media outlets and that side of the government do, oh no, that's just misinformation. Now he's a president and we all see it because he can't hide it any longer. We see that it was not misinformation. And yet the people are still believing that those sources as deemed as truthful sources, not misinformational sources. They're deemed as truthful sources still to this day. And these are the same sources that are telling you to put on that Democrat flag over your mouth and nose and keep it on tight, whether you got the vaccine or not, and go ahead and get that needle. These are the sources that are not being rubber stamped as misinformation by Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. But if you have an opinion, misinformation, if you have credible data to back up that opinion, misinformation, we don't care. Take care.